Hello, this is Laboni Vishwas, first year MBBS student. Today, on this special occasion of Diwali, first of all, happy Diwali. I'm here to start this new series. This series will cover all the chapters of class 11 and 12 biology. I'll be sharing my self-made notes which I made during my preparation days. Finally, I'm ready to share my notes with you guys. This series' only motive is to help out all the NEET aspirants, those who are facing problem in bio section. And I'll be covering each and every topic present in NCERTs. As we all know, the bio questions are directly from the NCERTs itself. And at the same time, it's not really possible to read or even revise the whole book one day before exam. So basically, what's the need of the hour is the notes. And I think I'm here to help you out. Hopefully, I'll be able to do so. Actually, being a med student, it really becomes tough to start a new venture. As you all know that there is a lot to study, retain or even reread and this vicious cycle goes on along with exams too. But recently a junior from my school contacted me to share my notes, so I made my mind why not to share those in a platform like YouTube so that I can reach out to huge number of people and help them in their preparation. So without wasting further your crucial time, let's just begin. तो ये जो है एक्चुअली ये मैंने एनसीईआरटी से डायरेक्टली कॉपी तो नहीं बट हाँ जो मेन पॉइंट्स होते थे मैं क्या करती थी उनका ही एकदम सम अप करके लिख लेती थी और इसको पढ़ के ही एक्चुअली मुझे फिर से एनसीईआरटीज वगैरह पढ़ने की कोई ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ती थी. तो होपफुली अगर आप ये पढ़ोगे आपके लिए भी काफ़ी ईजी हो जाएगा. एंड आई एम स्टार्टिंग. So the thing is कि first of all the heading is there the living world. So features of living organisms, that is growth, reproduction, ability to sense environment, self-replicate, self-organize, interact, then metabolism. Then again there is twin characteristic of growth, that is increase of mass, and the second is increase in number of individuals. Then multicellular organism perform cell division, such as in plants, continuously they undergo cell division throughout their lifespan. But in case of animals, there is that occurs only up to a certain age. But in case of cellular organism, the cell division occurs. It also occurs in cellular organisms. So the example is in vitro culture. Now I made this. I wrote these 5 points which are crucial for any living organism. That is, first is growth, reproduction, metabolism, cellular organism, consciousness. After this, I've written something else inside this. That is, in majority of higher organism and plants, growth and reproduction are mutually exclusive events. That is, growth is increase in body mass. For example, in non-living objects, external growth takes place, but in case of living, there is growth from inside. So therefore, we cannot make growth as a defining property of living organisms, since non-living objects also have some external growth. So therefore, growth is a characteristic of living organism, but not a defining property, because it can be a characteristic because dead organism does not grow. उसके बाद reproduction, that is the characteristic of living organism, and in multicellular organism there is sexual reproduction which takes place, and in case of asexual reproduction I wrote some examples which are also given in the NCERTs, like fungi, that is asexual spores, yeast and hydra perform budding, that is in lower organism, planaria, flatworms, true regeneration. In case of fungi, filamentous algae and protonema of mosses, fragmentation takes place. Unicellular organism, there is such as bacteria, unicellular algae or amoeba, reproduction is synonymous with growth, that is increase in number of cells. That इसको थोड़ा सा मैं समझा देती हूँ कि जैसे in case of bacteria, unicellular algae, so what is reproduction? So that is the same as the growth, that is increase in number of cell. तो उनका अगर number of cell increase करता है, that is in them that is only reproduction. So next I wrote something about growth, that is equivalent to increase in number of cell as well as mass. Now in NCERT is also mentioned that in some organism that they do not reproduce, like mules, sterile worker bees, infertile human couples, then reproduction cannot be also all inclusive defining characteristic of living organism, because these are some exceptions. So we cannot make reproduction as the all-inclusive defining characteristic. So next is metabolism. So metabolism is what is metabolism? Metabolism is the sum total of all the living in living organism, the sum total of chemical reactions which is occurring in their body. So that is only metabolism. Then no non-living objects exhibit metabolism. Metabolic reaction can occur outside the body, like in case of cell-free system, example is test tube. Then metabolism is a defining feature of living organism because no non-living object exhibits metabolism, and it can be only occurring inside the body as well as outside the body also, but in case of living organism only. So we can say that defining feature of living organism. Now cellular organization is of the body is the defining feature of life forms too. Now next in NCERTs ये भी mention था. Actually ये सभी मैंने NCERTs से लिया है, but the thing is कि सारे जो sum up चीज़ें जैसे मेन जो एकदम मेन पॉइंट जिसका हाई प्रोबेबिलिटी रहता था आने में क्वेश्चंस वहाँ से, तो वही लेती थी. एक्स्ट्रा जो मटेरियल है वो तो आप पढ़ ही सकते हो एनसीईआरटी से, वो तो आपको पढ़ना ही पड़ेगा, और एल्स ये भी नहीं समझोगे आप, वो तो आपको पढ़ना ही पड़ेगा. देन again you have to reread 2 to 3 times from NCERT, then you have to shift to these kind of notes. Then the next point is all organisms from prokaryotes to most complex eukaryotes, they can sense and respond to environmental cues like both plants and animals. Like in case of plants, external factors they can sense like light, water, temperature, other organisms, pollutants, वगैरह वगैरह. And in animals we can see that there's such as like a term was there in NCERTs like photoperiod that affects the reproduction. That is then there is seasonal weeders. It can be in case of plants as well as in animals. Like all organisms, those who are living are aware of their surrounding and can handle chemicals which are entering into their bodies. Now human being is the only organism in this whole world who is having this characteristic, that is self-consciousness. So we can consider it as a defining property of living organism. So again I'm just mentioning that what I wrote in the front page, that was that 5 characteristic, that is growth, reproduction, metabolism, cellular organism and consciousness. So among these, the most important that these are the defining characteristic were metabolism, cellular organization and consciousness. So now after this I'm having these small. Then patients in coma are considered as brain dead. Then all living phenomena are due to underlying interaction, like first of all there is a cell, then tissue, then there is an organ system, then particularly organism is formed. Now mentioning again the next point, the living organisms are self-replicating, they're evolving, self-regulating interactive system, that those who are capable of responding to external stimuli. So this point is very important, that they're capable of responding to external stimuli. Now the next point is that all living organisms that is of present, past or future are linked to one another, sharing common, that is they're also sharing a common but to a varying degree, not totally same, because the difference is in their genetic material. And then there is only that is the main point, is that human being in the whole world are the only organism those who are having the self consciousness. तो एनसीईआरटी में एक्चुअली मैंने जो आपको ये पॉइंट्स बताया, एक्चुअली ये पेज कवर हो गया था, देन दिस पेज इज ऑल्सो कवर्ड एंड देन दिस पेज इज ऑल्सो कवर्ड. सो नाउ आई एम स्टार्टिंग विद दिस पेज. एक्चुअली नाउ आई एम शिफ्टिंग टू माई नोट्स. Starting with this diversity in the living world. So the thing is ki diversity in the living world, biodiversity. What is biodiversity? Is the number and types of organisms present in Earth. So the data which are given in the NCERTs are the most important, and you have to rely on these data only, because NTA is going to ask from these data only, because there might be some changes, but you don't have to worry about those changes. Only stick to these data only, and just remember and mug up these data. Like for in case of biodiversity, there is a 1.7 to 1.8 million species. So what is nomenclature? That is nomenclature is the naming of living organism. Identification, identify a living organism. Then IBCN, these full form are very important, that is International Code of Botanical Nomenclature, and ICZN, that is International Code of Zoological Nomenclature. Then what is binomial nomenclature? So basically what is that? So it's just a 2 component it was defined by Carolus Linus. So it's having two components, that is generic name and specific epithet. For example, in case of Mangifera indica, the rule is that these are generally in Latin and written in italics. So first part is that of genus, and the second part is of specific species. So it should be handwritten. When it's handwritten, it should be separately underlined, and name of author should be after the species name. For example, for example, it's given. You can just see. And then classification. Classification is the process by which anything is grouped into convenient categories based on some easily observable characteristics which you can observe by your eyes. So next is what is taxa? So these are the categories at a very different level. Then taxonomy, it is a process of classification in which all living organisms are classified on the basis of characteristics into different taxa. Then basis of modern taxonomic studies is external and internal structure, structure of cell, development process, ecological information. And remember, these 4 points were very important. I used to remember these points when I was preparing for my NEET. So actually my teacher told. Then taxonomy, under this topic four subtopic come, that is characterization, identification, classification, nomenclature. So what is systematics? Systematics consist of these three, that is identification, classification, nomenclature. So then what is systematics? You may say that it's diversity of kinds of organism and their relationship, and this systematics accounts for evolutionary relationship, and this point is very important, that it accounts. So there might be a question like evolutionary relationship, what accounts evolutionary relationship, and 4 options will be given. So that is systematics. So then next is that systematic consists of identification, nomenclature, and classification. And then the next topic is taxonomic categories. So the species is the lowest category for both plants and animals. You have to remember, for both plants and animals, and each category is a unit of classification. The next, and actually मैं यहाँ पर ही ख़त्म कर रही हूँ ये वीडियो. एक्चुअली द नेक्स्ट थिंग इज़ कि अगर आपको ये पसंद आए ये तरीका, और आपको कुछ भी चेंजेस चाहिए, जैसे आपको अगर टोटली ये वीडियो इंग्लिश में चाहिए या फिर हिंदी में टोटली चाहिए या मिक्स चाहिए जैसा मैंने किया है ऑलरेडी, तो प्लीज़ आप कमेंट सेक्शन में मेंशन कीजिएगा और दूसरों लोगों तक ये पहुँचाइएगा, मतलब सेंड कीजिएगा, दूसरों को शेयर कीजिएगा, ताकि मुझे पता चले कि शायद मैं किसी की हेल्प कर भी पा रही हूँ या नहीं. तो दैट्स इट. आप कमेंट कीजिएगा, सब्सक्राइब कीजिएगा, प्लीज़ डू सब्सक्राइब, लाइक द एंड हिट द लाइक बटन, एंड एज वेल एज प्लीज़ शेयर एज मच एज पॉसिबल. मतलब अप टू यू, इट्स अप टू यू कि आप कैसे कंसीडर करते हो. लेकिन सच में इसमें बहुत मेहनत लगी थी. बट हाँ, फ्रॉम द वेरी बिगनिंग, लाइक इन नीट फेज ओनली, आई थॉट दैट आफ्टर नीट प्रिपरेशन इज ओवर दैट आई विल मेक दीज वीडियोज़. बट समहाउ ये पॉसिबल नहीं हो पाया था इतने टाइम तक. बट समहाउ मतलब अब हुआ, तो दैट्स मे बी दैट हो गया बस. बट आप बताइएगा कि आपको कैसा लगा. थैंक यू, दैट्स इट. और ऐसे ही मैंने हर एक टॉपिक में, ईच एंड एवरी टॉपिक, मैंने हर एक टॉपिक में, बीट बी क्रेब्स साइकिल, सिट्रिक साइकिल और वट एवर, लाइक सिट्रिक वो तो सेम ही है. बट द थिंग इज कि ग्लाइकोलाइसिस, हर एक टॉपिक में मतलब एकदम डिफ़िकल्ट से डिफ़िकल्ट, ईजी से ईजी, सब कुछ मैंने बहुत ईजी तरीके से एकदम बना के रखा है. सो आपको अच्छा लगे ये अप्रोच तो बताइएगा ज़रूर. थैंक यू एंड हैप्पी दिवाली.